Check it out, boys. 1951 Chevy 3100 5-window pickup truck, Resto mod. There's a few companies out there that do restorations like this. Some of them do better jobs than others. Like Icon does this truck really well. I'm not sure who did this build, but it was purchased from Earth Motor Cars in Dallas, Texas, along with the C2, actually, that you guys saw in the previous video. What initially prompted my contact to them was this truck here. And so I reached out to them. At the same time, that's when Pa was kind of getting the bug up his ass to complete the Corvette collection, and I happened to notice that they had a pretty nice looking Resto mod C2, so we'll save that for another video. But this one is going to be about detailing and going over the, I guess, features of this 3100. Some of them are pretty neat. I did find already a few flaws or a few things I want to get repaired or corrected, such as the passenger side headlight doesn't turn on. There's a little chip right here. I really don't want to spray the whole hood, but I want to get that looking better, get stuff like this tightened up. I understand it's kind of a nature of the beast to have a, what, a 70-year-old, 74-year-old, 73-year-old car vehicle that, you know, has these little quirks and stuff, but some of the stuff I just want to make right. Like maybe I can do something about that window. If it's not too expensive, that is, maybe replace this window, things like that. I'm not really sure what the point of this little side mirror is. You can't see it from the driver's spot. See? Here's where my face would be. Right about here. You can't even see the edge of that mirror, so that's probably just for looks, or maybe it's for the passenger, who knows. So there's a few other cosmetic flaws like this I think maybe we can touch up. You don't want to step on these things, but obviously somebody did. Maybe I can get that touched up. Maybe I can put something down there like PPF or something that you can step on these. I don't want to do it, but I mean, yeah, they're made to be stepped on. I just don't want to step on paint. Make people take off shoes every time, I guess. Nice little wooden bed. Took a while to figure out. I actually had to get the help from the salesman, but there's something interesting about this bed I'll show you later on in the video. But today I thought we would wash it up. I do have it scheduled to go to Classics Plus. That's where the 78 Indy Pace car is right now for restoration. This is just going to get some things like the headlight bulb replaced, light paint touch up, things like that. The windows are also kind of funky on this vehicle too. We'll get the side windows, I mean. But for now, let's get her washed up. I thought it might be nice to do a, since it's just me here, it might be nice to do a little wash and talk for you guys. That graphene shampoo in there. A little bit that I did drive this thing around the block. It does need to have its brakes looked at. They're really squishy. I don't know if that's what they can fix. I'm sure it is. The tiny wheels. There's no wheel well to clean, really. Careful, it's tight right there. wheels seem like they're coated with something. So the soap kind of goes away pretty quickly. It's usually an indicator that some type of coating on them. It's gonna get. Chip right there. The gap is different over here. What's up with that? So easy to go around, but that's how to be really careful over here. It's a good like inch difference. Figure that out too. Crazy tire shine on this stuff. Look at that. Yuck. I think I should start using the foam gun on these wheels. This stuff just is good, but all the soap goes away. So this video is going to be a little bit more of an ASMR wash and talk combo, I think, because obviously I'm focusing on cleaning these wheels and not talking much. We'll do that for the paint. We'll save that for the paint side. Alright, the next step is to use Adam's Mega Foam in my MTM foam cannon. Got some graphene shampoo in here. What is that? Lots of Jesus. Okay, so I've said it like 4 or 5 times now. 1951 Chevy 3100. Bought from the dealership in Dallas. When I first found it, you know, I obviously contacted them and was like, hey, need some more information on this, need some pictures, condition, because you know sometimes you buy used cars online, the photos don't always do it justice. And that was kind of the case with this one too. So as they're getting all this information together for me, you know, pictures as it live as it is right there, they send a video, they send a whole bunch of other stuff, and we're just getting ready to like, okay, here's our offer. And at the same time, actually before we were going to give them the offer, that's when I found that C2 right there. So we're trying to do kind of a 2-for-1 deal. Usually you kind of, I guess, I don't want to say negotiate, you can get typically more favorable numbers. They see you're buying more than one vehicle. Little light plates. So I asked them about the C2 here, and same thing, you know, hey, I need pictures of it, I want a video, see if it's running. I want anything that's wrong with it, I want you to highlight it basically, and show me, you know, what that is, so I at least know what to expect if you can work a deal for this thing. And as we're doing that, some guy was either there or on the phone like I was, he put a deposit down on this vehicle. So that kind of took the wind out of my sail a little bit. But that's okay, because I was also, there had to be a Lotus and a backdraft dealer as well. I was like, I mean, the truck is choice number 1, that's a bummer. And I tried to like, see if we can do, like what we can do to like, make the deal happen. I said, well shoot, we're talking about this right now. I mean, we're working on the deal, we're negotiating, because yeah, we just took a deposit. Not a whole lot we can do once that's done. And I was like, well shoot, I'll give you a bigger deposit. But obviously it's not realistic. So this became no longer available. So I had picked out they had a brand new 65 Cobra backdraft. They had a few of them actually, but they had one that really stood out to me. It was chalk in color, like Porsche's chalk. And it had a yellow accent, it was really sharp looking. So we worked out a deal for that one instead. Got a discount on it and everything, discount on the C2, and the deal was done. And the whole time, I'm telling them, I'm like, hey, if something happens with that 3100, you know, let me know, because sometimes these cars are hard to buy if you don't have financing. I should say, if you don't have cash available, it's pretty hard to finance. So anyway, they said it was a done deal. The guy's gonna come pick it up that weekend. And said, okay, we were preparing to take delivery of the backdraft and that C2. And I get a phone call the following Monday. This is 2 days later. And they say, guess what? A 3100 is available now. Well, what happened? They said the wife of the guy who wanted to buy it was not about it. She did not like it. But you guys all know how many wives are with cars. They don't like their hobbies. They don't understand it. It's a lot of money. Yada yada yada. So the wife put the kibosh on this guy getting his truck. And my salesman comes up to me and he goes, "This thing is available. We can make this happen." And then I was like, "Great, let's do it. What are we waiting for?" And then as he's like getting the numbers going, I guess the other salesman who had sold this truck to that guy whose wife made him back out, I guess they were friends, and he was like, "No, we got to give him an opportunity to buy it because he already has a deposit." And it's like, well, the deal fell through, right? He gave him back his deposit. And let's work on the deal. Keep in mind, at this point, we had already had the backdraft deal done, bought and paid for. We didn't finance, we just cashed it out. And I was like, well, shoot, let's just move the funds from the backdraft over to this truck. So we got a done deal right now. We've got to wait for that guy to come in because he wanted to come in the following weekend and try to talk with his wife and try to get it all figured out, but I don't know. I didn't want to wait and risk losing this truck. Not that I didn't want the backdraft. I don't kind of bounce all over the place with the story, but not that I didn't want the backdraft, but it wasn't my first choice. This was my first choice. I've looked at these trucks for actually a few years. I almost bought one on, I don't know if it was a Bring a Trailer or Hemmings. I think it was Hemmings actually. And I had them picked out. It was like half the cost of this. But this is pre-COVID, so who knows what that did to prices. Although, if you guys noticed that prices on cars are going down, like GT3 RSs, for example. I wanted one forever, and I was able to secure one before COVID with like 120 miles on it, like 160 grand. But I didn't want to finance that much money at the time. And they ended up selling the car, and now that same car is worth like 260 grand. It's crazy, but they're coming down again. Not much, but maybe like 8 to 10%, which I guess is a good amount. This truck maybe have been worth less pre-COVID than it was post-COVID, but whatever. We got them to agree to the deal because they already had money for the backdraft. So what we ended up doing was just trading in the backdraft on this. Didn't exchange any more money. This is about the same exact price as we negotiated on the backdraft. So they technically got a better deal. Of course, your boy negotiated freight on the delivery for the in the deal. Yeah, that's worth like, from Texas, that's worth like $2,000 a car, something like that. And so we got the paperwork all signed, and the deal was done. And during that time, they noticed that the driver's side window was cracked. And I'm like, oh shoot, how the hell that happened? It wasn't cracked in those pictures and videos you sent me 2 days ago. I said, yeah, someone must have shut the door and it's hitting something on the inside. There's nothing we can do to fix that, but we're going to replace the window. So they delayed that. So we ended up, that's why the C2 came by itself instead of with this, which is what it was supposed to do. The C2 got delivered, and they were repairing this guy, the window. And then they discovered after all that they can do something about that window hitting the frame on the inside after all. So I had to wait another week or so. Well, that was all done before this got delivered yesterday. My goal for today is just to clean her up, see if I can find anything wrong cosmetically, see if I can fix it myself. If not, see if it's worth having employees who are doing the 78 little repair on this for me. I haven't looked at these 3100s for the last couple of years. It's quite the community with them. It's kind of like any classic car, but these ones I think are up and coming. You know how like Camaros and Cudas and all that stuff are like always sought after and really popular and go for top dollar. I think these 3100s are going to follow suit here pretty soon. And there's a company, and I don't know where they're at. They're called Icon. They specialize in kind of like what my '69 Camaro was like, where they build it from the ground up. Sort. They go out. They find a real 3100 5-window or whatever it is. As good condition as they can get, typically from the West Coast, hopefully. And they basically restore the thing. We'll grind it down to bare metal. Use Art Morrison chassis and all sorts of other high-end aftermarket components. E-Rod LS3, which I think is what this thing has, or something similar. And before you know it, after about 18 months to 2 years, you got yourself essentially like a brand new 1950s pickup truck. So I think this is not a knockoff of that, but I think it's a very similar build. Someone took a lot of time and effort to make this thing nice. That's what I wanted. I didn't want a period correct truck, right? A derelict or I guess period correct truck is the best way to put it. I wanted basically a truck hot rod, kind of like a C2 and C1, where it looks like it's from the 50s, but it runs and drives and is reliable like it's from like 2022 on or something, you know? And that's what this guy is. When I'm making my own, you know, I'm gonna get it all perfected, the paint, we'll get it wrapped, tinted, then I'll just enjoy the truck. But it makes me want to build one of those Icon ones. It should be like a level above this in terms of build quality. Okay, almost done. And I'll show you guys around it. I like this color too. If I were to build one, it'd be very similar color to this. Maybe slightly darker. Maybe not, but I like this gunmetal color. A little white one would look nice with like some black trim. That'd be pretty cool. Like matte black trim, like around the windshield and around this grill, around the headlights. That'd be matte black with gloss white. That'd be kind of sweet. This thing is tiny. I don't know if you can tell that on camera. This is a tiny truck. Look at that, the clean this with ceramic coated, which looks like it is, but doesn't beat as much as it was beating when I first rinsed it. A little bit of water gets in through the seal, it's not bad though. I think I am going to do an iron remover on here. Not sure if it needs it, but I don't know. Okay, this is Adam's iron remover. Spray it on, let it sit for a few minutes, and you rinse it off. See what we can get. In my eyes. Hands starting to hurt. Okay, that's it for a few minutes. Overall, my impressions are pretty good so far. Wait till I get her dried up, but I want to adjust things. Like, see how that hood, it's just not all that straight. It's higher on the right side than it is the left. And I like to put better hinges on there too. Right now they're kind of a coiled leaf. I just hold it up, and I'm sure that's period correct, but you know, it is a restored and modified truck, so why not keep that theme going? I'll probably keep those wheels and tires like that. I don't really understand why this gap here is smaller than this gap here. by quite a bit, probably by like an inch at least. That's a little concerning. I like that they don't have the chains or the latches here. These old 50s pickup truck, this bed would come back just like a normal bed, and you'd have chains hanging here, and they would just like ding, ding, ding. They would end up chipping and eating away at the body and paint right here. This bed is in perfect shape. Overall, the truck is in very good shape. There's just a few minor things which I'd be totally fine leaving, but I mean, y'all know me, I can't. Once a vehicle has an imperfection, it usually doesn't last very long. But that's not to say that I'm not opposed to fixing them too. Like that GT500 back here, that thing had almost a chunk taken out of the front bumper from the dealership, and I just had that repaired. I had to replace the stripes, paint it, and I wrapped it, and that thing is good to go. So I'm not opposed to doing some repairs, obviously. And again, I'm not opposed to leaving this as is, but I do want to make it as perfect as I can without dumping a huge amount of cash into it. In about 3 minutes, let's go ahead and rinse this thing down. It was pretty clean. Take a listen to this guy. I think I might have moved the camera once. Whoops. Okay, so I am very, as you guys know, particular as the condition of my car. So I just sent the salesman the 24 or so flaws that I found on the outside. Now, I know you're saying, Chris, like this, it's a 70-some-year-old vehicle. What do you expect? True, but the restoration, this is a 2023-year-old vehicle in my eyes. So I think it should be as flawless as it can, just like any of these 2023 plus vehicles. Hopefully that makes sense. Now I get that there's things that you just cannot fix, like the seals might not be perfect in the windows or things like that, but this thing did have a fresh paint job, and I 100% blame this on the dealership putting 670 miles on the car. It was advertised with I think 11 miles, and in a matter of like 2 weeks these guys drove this thing over 550 miles. It was at 600 when I first saw it. I took delivery of 693. So during those 600 and roughly 80 miles, those we'll just round to that number. During that time, the dealership drove this to events or home or just to show off, just to try it, whatever. And I'm pretty confident that's where these flaws came to be. This thing was in a showroom, so people might not know that, hey, you probably shouldn't be stepping on this. Yeah, it was made to be stepped on back in the day, but there's like a dozen or so just on these running boards, I guess you want to call them, alone. And some things I know you can't really do much about, like where did I see some like this type of stuff, like that's just rubbing as it closes the door. And I got a ton of compound out of here. There still might be some, yeah, like there, which makes me feel good because that means that they polish it up pretty nice. But and then there's some other stuff too, like this down here, that happened probably when they were reassembling it. But the chips and stuff, like in the windshield I showed you, actually I don't know if I showed you, but like there's one right there. There's this little chip in the windshield right there. There's a nasty little ding right here. And I'd love to it's too bad paint shops can't just, like painting a wall, you can't just patch it and paint that and make it blend all of this. You have to repaint this whole fender to make it right. And there's some other stuff too that I'm not really too worried about. Little ding right there. I can probably get this scratch out. That's a little chip at some point. People probably leaning or putting something in here, because I think that was done after it was painted. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at things that were done after it was painted. This I think was caused by a polisher going a little bit too hard. I might be probably won't be able to get this out. The wheels seem okay. There's some compound right there that I missed during the wash. I did not compound this. I might be able to lessen that one up a little bit. Maybe not. I can feel it through the paint. Same thing over here, just some rub marks. Again, most of the stuff here's some more compound. Most of the stuff was done after the restoration, i.e. during that 600 some miles, and at some point something hit this, or this hit something. This area right here. See that? There's actually a little dent in there too if you look. And this definitely had like touch-up paint or something done to it. But like this, to me, this might be worth painting the fender. But you know, where do I stop? Little mark right there. This side's not as bad as the driver's side. You know, a few scratches here and there, which I'm not happy about, but I'm not, you know, gonna freak out about. Things like this I don't like to see. You know, I don't know if they can fix that dent or if there's Bondo or something in there. I don't necessarily feel anything from the backside, maybe a little bit. And of course one more chip like right here. I didn't see that before. It's like a bug splatter or something. But there's a chip right there. Some water got on the inside. You know, these seals aren't perfect. But besides that, something right there. I didn't see that one before. I can probably get rid of that. Besides a few cosmetic flaws, it's just very nice. I think it's a good addition to the stable. Now I may or may not do something about these cosmetic flaws. We'll see. What I don't want to do is repaint the whole thing. It'd be a huge waste of money and a waste of time, because it's, I mean, you gotta do one of two things. You either appreciate it for what it is, or you try to make it as perfect. And again, where do you stop? Those spots on the door where it scrapes as it's shutting, it's probably going to happen again unless we really get this thing perfected, and then it is like a 2023 vehicle. But I don't ever foresee this being something like that. I just want it to look as perfect as it can be. You know, it's kind of like these brand new cars back here. Everything in here, with the exception of the C5 and like one little ding on the C4, everything in here is in perfect condition. It's all wrapped, of course, too, so it'll remain in perfect condition. That's my intent with this thing too, is to wrap it and just drive it and enjoy it for what it is. But I mean, you come back here, you can't see anything, but y'all know me, I got that keen eye, and I don't always look at it from this distance. I look at it, you know, from real close, from like this distance. And then I see stuff like that, and then I'm like, oh my god, what am I gonna do with my life? Oh my god, and I freak the hell out. And then before I know it, I'm repainting the truck. But again, I'm gonna try not to do that. I do want to bring it to the the shop, see what's going on with this alignment. I mean, I drove it just, you know, a quarter mile around, and I didn't feel anything off, but there's a, I mean, you probably can see it from here. Look at this gap. So I'm gonna compare that to this gap. Might not look like that from here, but there's definitely a difference between the two. Okay, enough complaining. Let me show you guys around. So I'm not sure what color gray this is. I really like it. They did do a complete restoration on the inside as well, so it's not just pretty on the outside, it's pretty on the inside too. I thought this was an LS3, but I'm not 100%. It's not like any markings on it. It just says fast fuel air spark technology, whatever that means, and there's like Wilson on the cover there. This would be kind of cool with some sweet little covers on the sides. I might want to consider doing that, see if they can find something. That might be on my modification list. Add some covers on the side, that might be cool. But look at nice smoothed out firewall, painted to match, nice billet bolts and stuff. I might want to improve these if there is an option. Nothing wrong with it, but it does, let me back this up. You can see it does give it a little bit of play to the hood. I'm just concerned. Ah, shoot, I forgot about that. Take a picture of that real quick. I wonder if this has anything to do with the previous color. Almost like a red or maroon. Interesting. That light doesn't work. I need to get that replaced. I like this nice chrome bumper. Nice and big. Wheels, they kind of suit the car, right? A few chips in there, but nothing serious. All new badging, I assume. I mentioned earlier, but that mirror is completely worthless. This one is fine. It is a 5 window, so there's a 3100, then there's a 3100 5 window. What is that? I'll get that later. I got some water on the inside, it looks like. I didn't touch the inside yet. I do want to scrub it up because I want to get that looked at too, see if there's something we can do about that, but there is a whole bunch of grease and crap on this little bitty armrest. A nice modern interior, brings in the gray, there's little red accents. This I wanted to get looked at because this, I was able to fix it yesterday, but it's still not right. Something's weird about it. Brakes are okay, they seem like, I don't know, something's up with the brakes. They're really more squishy than what I think they should be. Driver's side, this looks okay. Peeling up a little bit, but nothing bad. Seats look nice and clean. Appear to be some type of vinyl. I think they use some sort of dressing on there because they're very shiny and slippery. Same thing with the headliner, nice black gray leather, it all comes around. This is kind of neat. This is where they hid the radio. The Icon ones, similar thing, you push it and it kind of comes down like so. But I haven't tried that out yet. And then of course, normal glove box. Nice rear view mirror. Dome light doesn't work, we'll get that fixed. Tilting steering wheel. And then we got vintage air down here. Gotta get this little guy repaired, looks like. Yeah, see that vent right there, something broke on it. Automatic transmission. It's a little different to hit the pedals with Crocs on, but you know, because you got this tub right here. Wonder if they can do anything about that. E-brake, I'm not sure if it even does anything. I was messing around with it yesterday and it didn't stop me from rolling. Yeah, it doesn't even smell bad in here. Nice wooden, I gotta show you this. Okay, so for almost 45 minutes, Pa and I went around trying to find how you put gas in this vehicle. We just couldn't find it. It's factory one, it's either on the driver or passenger side. It's right here. You know, we were looking everywhere inside, not that it doesn't make any sense to have it on the inside, but the C1, you'll pop up the trunk and that's how you put the gas in. Everywhere else from the past, you'd pull down the license plate and that would expose your spout for your tank. It's a very nice clean tank, but I was looking under here, I was getting all trashed, trying to find where does this fuel line go, and I couldn't find it anywhere. We looked in the fenders, we looked again right here. They even popped the hood and I thought maybe, just maybe you filled up in the hood, like who designed that? Thankfully it's not, so I had to contact the salesman once more. Check this out. Normal looking bed, right? Pa and I were looking at this, maybe there was like a trap door or something, and I mean it looks totally normal except for this one piece. So he told me there's a switch underneath the driver's seat. It's right here. Hear that? And you think to yourself like, what could that toggle switch do exactly? Let me show you. Isn't that crazy? Hey, look at the spout for the gas tank is right on top of the gas tank. How clever is that? I thought this was very clever, pretty innovative, and it does a nice job because it keeps everything hidden away. So again, you hit this button down here. The only bad part is having to kind of look, because I can't look and do it at the same time. That's it. That is cool. I do really appreciate that they ended up locking this tailgate, because you get those chains or ropes, whatever people would put here, and it would just, you know, it'd hang and ding ding ding, it would hit the side and ding up your paint and get it all chipped up. I'm never going to use this for a truck. That's what we have a bigger truck for. So I appreciate that they ended up making this just stationary. It's not going to do anything. I'm never going to put anything back there. Maybe the kids going down the pool or something, but that's about it. So here she is, guys. It's got just under 700 miles since the restoration. I'm going to do a little bit to make it my own, such as, yes, some cosmetic improvements if I can. I'll fix the lights on the outside and the inside, and that's about it. It's really not a whole lot that needs to be done. Get that, of course, fixed on the fender. Try to get this hood alignment figured out. Just tasteful improvements. You know, I'm not gonna remake the wheel here or anything like that. But I do want to make this thing better than what it is right now, which isn't going to take a whole lot. The exhaust is pretty sweet. I forgot to show that. It comes out right behind the tire, but look how clean this undercarriage is. Whoever restored this thing did a very nice job. I do believe it was presented to the dealership in the exact condition that I would have liked. And I do believe that the 600 plus miles the dealership put on it is a direct result to the flaws and the cosmetic flaws that are on the car. But it is what it is. We'll fix her up. So let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna do a video on the C2 next. Maybe not today because I'm running out of time. I do need to wash the Hummer real quick. I'll just do that off camera. And next week I got get this, I said this in another video, you guys are totally right. The M4, it's got the transport blocks on there, I presume, because I saw some blue stuff underneath the backside, and then white. I had to kind of move the bonnet or the shoe for the suspension, and I saw some white there, but look at this. I don't believe that blue thing, I got terrible light right now, but I don't believe that blue thing is supposed to be there, which explains why this thing rode like complete crap, and the ride is a little bit higher than it should be. So before I go, I got to move this over to basically the wash bay side, because I have a technician coming on Monday. They do mobile tech for your customers, which is nice. So BMW's not all that bad, guys, but I got a mobile tech coming to handle that for me on Monday. And also on Monday, we're bringing the 3100 and the C2 over to Classics Plus, because the C2, I might as well talk about this in this video. The C2 is basically perfect. There's just a few things. We cannot get the hood to pop is one. I'm gonna see, I highly doubt, but I'm gonna see if they can do something about these little flaws. They're matching, one on both sides. And I'm gonna see if they can do something with the window clicking. It's like it bottoms out, I don't know, it's really weird. And then that's the other thing. These have little teeth on them. This is the latch release for the convertible top, and you can kind of see its angle. It's kind of like I can't think of what else is like it, but you know, it's angled. There's an angle that comes down, and it catches a tooth on the actual top. Either those are slightly rounded out, or something happened where it allows the driver's side to come up. Passenger side is good, driver's side needs to be replaced or repaired. I was easily able to find those online, so that should be just like a $40 fix. But besides that, the C2 is good to go, so she'll get wrapped here pretty soon. The C5, I'm gonna do a couple paint repairs on that. Driver's side light, driver's side mirror. I'm really debating doing this fender, and I think it was back here, this fender too. But I do have the aftermarket top in the back that'll be replacing this. This will go away in storage, and I'll put a silver one on top to match. I just think it'll look better. This C5 is absolutely pristine, perfect condition, so that needs nothing. This thing is pristine, needs nothing. I mean, there's a few things, but if you want to make it right, you got to repaint the whole hood. There's really only one mark on there, and it's right here. That stuff drives me nuts, but Pa doesn't care as much as I do, so we're going to wrap that one on the following week. I'm going to Vegas next week, probably by the time this video is up. I'll be there. We're going to get grinding on some of these cars. It's exciting stuff. There's a lot of cars. It was a busy 2 weeks. 6 cars. 6 cars in 2 weeks. That's a lot. I don't know where we're going to put them all. I'm going to probably align these up so they're all facing me, because to get, let's say I want to get either one of these 4, let's say I want to get the 911 out, right? I got to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bring that down, then I can get it out. Versus if I angle them this way, you know, have one basically facing us, one in front of each lift, I just got to move the one car, or I guess it'd be the 2 to get the 911 down, but I think that makes the most sense to me. Look how nasty this towel is. This was brand new white. All I did was clean the seats, the steering wheel, and the door panels. The handles on the door panel are pretty nasty. This one's still not perfect, but it's a lot cleaner than it was. Some technician getting it out of here was a dirty boy. It was like that. Nasty. The car that I told you about that I built, got an allocation I should say, and built, is complete, and it's going to start shipping here in probably about a week or two, so that's going to come a lot earlier than expected, so stay tuned for that video. But I'm going to end this one here. Let me know what you think. As always, I appreciate you watching. See you in the next one. Thanks.